Good afternoon, Dr. Castillo. I hope you're doing very well today. Today I'm going to be talking about Dr. David Fahey and the United Nations Panel of Scientists, Achievement and Research. So let's get started. So first of all, one of the main problems and achievements that Dr. David was able to take a look at in the report that was given on Monday is about the airborne chemicals that destroyed the ozone are now declining for the first time, helping the repair the atmospheric layer that protects humans from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, according to the new report done by the chair, Dr. David Fahey, and the United Nations backed panel of scientists. Now, this report was released on Monday by the United Nations Environmental Program and the World Meteorological Organization. And the researchers found a significant thickening of the ozone layer, a region of the atmosphere from 9 to 18 miles high that absorbs ultraviolet rays and prevents them from reaching the Earth's surface. And as we can see, some of the researchers, they put these big globes onto the sky, and that's how they can take a look and do examples and measure how this layer of the atmosphere is working out. So some of the main points of the achievement and the research that they've done is that the layer has been fragile for decades as the result of chemical used as refrigerants and propellant that destroyed the ozone, a compound made of 3 oxygen atoms that we've learned before in this chemistry class. And these long-lasting chemicals mix the cold temperatures and meteorological conditions above Antarctica. The reaction creates an ozone hole over the region each spring that varies in size and depth each year. Now, in the late 1990s, ozone depleting gases were at their peak. The ozone layer was reduced by 4% compared with the pre-1980 levels. In this new report, states that the recovery is continuing, but we still have to make up a lot of years. Thickening of the ozone layer means more protection for humans and others in other life. Now, these XUV rays can lead to skin cancer. It can damage the immune system function. And according to the health studies, while damaging the growth of crops and ocean phytoplankton, the report found ozone damaging chlorine decline 11.5% in the stratosphere between its peak in the 1993 and 2020, while bromine declined 14.5% in the atmosphere between its peak in 1990 and 2020. Some important information, as Dr. David Fahey said, this is basic measure of success. He's the director of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Chemical Science Laboratory in Boulder, Colorado, and the co-chair of the panel that wrote the study and that got the achievement. The abundance of all the principal ozone depleting gases and their emissions have peaked, and now they are coming down. Now, the ozone depleting chemicals called chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, were banned in 1987 by the Montreal Protocol, international treaty signed by all member states of the United Nations. The Cali Amendment, signed in 2016, banned a group of chemicals known as hydrofluorocarbons or HFCs, which were used for many years as a substitute of the CFCs, but don't damage the ozone layer. With that being said, Dr. David Fahey and some of these scientists in this panel, in the assessment that was released on Monday, stated that the HFCs are also a planet-warming greenhouse gas, and estimated that the HFC ban has eliminated the use of chemicals that otherwise would have resulted in a much a 0.5 degrees Celsius of warming by 2100 year. 2018, a lot of scientists detected a 25% spike in a banned ozone depleting chemical, trichlorofluoromethane or CFC11. And this was because of factories in northeastern China that were emitting CFC11. And so the Chinese government was warned, and the United Nations said that this had to stop or be decreased. So it was identified that these emissions were going up, and now they're going down. Actions taken by the Chinese government and other governments have had a positive impact. And Dr. David Fahey and this panel of scientists from the United Nations have been working on this for years. So the achievement and all the things that they have accomplished is amazing. So we can see the also Australian wildfires and California wildfires affect and sends moist smoke particles into the stratosphere, where they spark chemical reactions that aid away the ozone layer. But either way, it could, researchers say that the wildfires could pose a persistent threat to global ozone levels. Despite all those things that we just talked about, before the appearance of a hole, we would be able to recover the levels that we had in 1980, but by 2066, there will be an ozone hole in the Antarctic, by 2045 in the Arctic, and by 2040 in the rest of the world. This report stated. Now, the final point is that a similar scientific assessment and achievement in 2018 showed improvement in the ozone layer in the mid-latitude regions of the northern hemisphere. Now, in this one, in 2022, assessment released Monday, positive signs of recovery for the ozone layer are also being detected in the tropic and southern hemispheres mid-latitudes, according to Dr. Newman. And so this is the works cited from the Wall Street Journal. And thank you so much for listening.